I recently rewatched Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, and yeah, there's a reason why most people consider the Heisei Gamera series as the best monster movies. The storytelling is incredible. The human actors, they actually have a decent plot, and they don't take away from the story. Nice thing about the '90s era was they didn't have a Kenny, which normally, I think only maybe one of the boys in the original Gamera series from the Showa era, which is the '60s and '70s, was actually named Kenny, but he, was so freaking annoying everybody can remember. On the flip side, you have this young girl who manages to get one piece of the orichalcum, which broke off from the shell of Gamera, and she becomes psychically sorry, she becomes psychically linked with Gamera, and so basically, when he gets hurt, she gets hurt, but um, she can slightly influence him with how she feels. So let's jump right into this plot. Gamera and Gauss were created by an ancient civilization that no longer exists. Maybe Atlantis, maybe Mu, um, you know, don't know for sure. Maybe Lemuria. Um, I know that they have like some theories, but they don't have any definitive. Oh yes, it was Atlantis or it was Lemuria. No, they were basically sealed away until the world reached a point where they were going to, I don't know, get warm enough, toxic enough, or something for the Gauss to reawaken. And when the Gauss reawaken, then Gamera would show up to defeat them because Gamera was built to be a protector to save everyone from the Gauss. And one of the things that's really neat is how dark some of the scenes can get. Yeah, it's a little goofy, but you outright see Gauss eating people, and it's a little graphic and everything. Uh, and one of the stipulations was Gamera had to look very friendly in this film. Now, they do make him look a little more darker and edgier in the later films, which is kind of neat. Giving him that more darker aspect brings out a cooler look. He looks very, very kid friendly in this first film. Um, and then when the Gauss do reawaken, they start to attack, and then people see Gamera shows up. So Gamera goes to kill some of the Gauss, and people are afraid of Gamera because he's so much larger. But they're not paying attention to the fact that he's not trying to hurt people. He's focused on just killing and defeating the Gauss. So then the military tries to defeat Gamera instead of Gauss, and the Gauss continue to grow larger as they eat more people and livestock and become a bigger threat. Finally, Gamera defeats all but one, and the last one winds up growing to massive size, and then the two of them have a big battle. And the one thing I'm going to say is that the CG, I mean, it's the '90s. I'm dealing with it while watching the Ultraman show. They're not great. When they're flying in the air and chasing each other around, it's not as good as when you actually see the suits in action. Um, and this first film is pretty good. I just remember being blown away by the other two because Attack of Legion and Revenge of Iris are a whole nother level. I highly suggest watching it because, for one, the music's great, the story is great, the acting is great, and a lot of the fighting is really, really good, except for the ones that rely more on CG. Um, as far as all the Gamera films go, what was nice about the Heisei series was it was serious. Whereas most of the Showa era was very goofy because they were trying to aim it for kids more so than all audiences. And sorry, I just woke up. Definitely one of the better, like, if you haven't seen it, I keep saying it, you need to watch these films. I will be doing reviews later on of the other two. I'm bouncing between watching movies and watching Ultraman Dyna, which is going a little bit slower than Tiga. So I think I can give you a hint. I'm not as much into Dyna as Tiga. Um, but I am still waiting for Netflix to release the information for the new Gamera show, which is rumored to be connected to the 90s Heisei era. But um, check it out. Well worth a watch.